Welcome everybody, nice to see you all here. Same old regulars coming, that's wonderful. Well done. Okay, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. Oh no. Yes, thanks for having us, Mary.
It's FPMT and Tim and Norberling and Venerable Katy.
No. Anyway, okay, let's just get started. All right. Okay. So just settle into our meditation posture. And if your feet are flat on the floor, make sure that there's a cushion underneath them, and don't have your legs crossed when your legs are down, because it's it just changes the way the spine sits. And otherwise, if you're sitting on a cushion or on the floor or on your chair, just your legs in a nice cross-legged posture, and make sure your sacrum is straight. And then let's just hands in the meditation mudra. And just imagine that our spine is a string of pearls made of light. And there's someone at the crown of our head who has the one end of this string. And it's running from the coccyx all the way up through the crown, and somebody's lengthening you. It's just very gently stretching, very gently lengthening all the muscles in the spine, around the spine, in the back. Just very gently letting go, giving you some space in between those vertebrae, some air in those discs. The head is slightly tipped forward, so just remembering, if your chin is up, it will create agitation in the mind. It's something that we can think about also in our day-to-day going around. And if your head is tipped too far forward, you're going to be feeling a bit sleepy. Your mind will become dull. So just somewhere in the middle. Eyes are down, about 2 inches in front of us on the floor, if they were open. And if you feel that you have enough concentration, you can just crack your eyes open slightly and allow some light in if your mind's feeling a bit dull. And let's just go to the crown of the head and relax the scalp and the forehead and the eyes, and the back of the eyes and the cheeks, the nose, and the mouth. And relax the jaw again, and the ears, relax your temples. And now go to the back of the head. And relax the scalp, and the neck, shoulders. And if you have any tight bits in your back, if you're feeling some tightness there, take your attention there and just try and let it go, if it's possible, or adjust yourself. Then go to the front, relax your throat and your chest and your belly and the arms, hands, relax your fingers, the legs and the feet and the toes. And so bring the mind to the breath. Just notice the sensation of this slightly cool air as you're breathing in, and slightly warmer air as you're breathing out. And just think, we're motivating. We're going to do this practice, this purification practice, in order to try and dig out those negative karmic seeds that we've planted, so we don't create obstacles for ourselves, so we can purify, so we can be a benefit to others. This should always be our main motivation. Why are we doing something? It takes a while to develop. But even if we just say the words, it's just kind of like acting as if. So just for now, I just say the words, and then hopefully one day it'll come into my heart. So just to remind ourselves, there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And so this purification practice is basically a psychological one. And so we're creating negativity with our mind. These are the thoughts that we have that are unhappy thoughts or angry thoughts or depressed thoughts. So we can create positivity with our mind as well. We can counteract these. So the first, we're going to purify with these by applying the 4 opponent powers. And the first of these is the power of regret. And we sincerely regret from the depths of our heart anything we have done in this life, past lives, to harm another sentient being or any sentient beings. And just in general, and then also regret the negativities of our mind. And remembering again, the reason that we regret is based on this logic of karma. That any harm we do to others is going to necessarily ripen as suffering in the future for us, and we don't want that. So the idea is that we remove the karmic seeds before they ripen and cause us suffering. So we regret from the depths of our heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows. If you have Pratamoksha, Bodhisattva, Tantric vows, and for me, my nun's vows. So if we in any way have degenerated our vows, forgotten what they are, let 1 or 2 slip, just regret from the depths of our heart. And Lama Rinpoche says, this, even the very act of regretting, sincere regret, and it's different from guilt. It's more like taking responsibility. This in itself goes a long way towards purification. In fact, Rinpoche probably would, out of his kindness of his heart, would probably say it is purification. So also regret all the anger and the rest, attachment, the cause of why we harm others. And we just think, I'm sick of this suffering, so who can I turn to? So we think we're going to, this is where we come to the second of the 4 opponent powers, the power of reliance. So the first part of this is 2 parts, refuge and compassion. So the first part is the refuge. And so we rely upon, we turn to the Buddha, the doctor. And we're using his methods to purify. So we're not asking Guru Vajrasattva to forgive us. We want to use his methods to purify ourselves. So visualize Guru Vajrasattva above the crown of our head, about 2 inches above the crown of the head. You can imagine this is a very dynamic, blissful, radiant, enlightened being above your head. And he's wearing these kind of robes in the style of the royal Indian style many, many years ago. It's like silken clothes just floating in the wind, scarves. And you can imagine this is the mind of your Lama or your teacher, your trusted mentor, manifesting in this way for your benefit. And so he's sitting on this cross-legged position. It's on a lotus, as you can see here. And he's got this radiant, beautiful face with his eyes. They call them lotus-like eyes, full of compassion and love for you and all sentient beings. There's no judgment for you, no wish for you to do anything particularly, no wish for you to change or to be something else other than what you are. He has no expectations, just accepts you exactly where you are. And he has a sweet red mouth, and his hair is black and held up in a top knot. And here in this image you can see this crown this beautiful crown. So you can imagine that all of this is made of light, emanating light, just shooting out light, top, down, bottom, back, front, north, south, east, west. And these arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, and he's holding a bell. Left is holding a bell representing wisdom, the right holding a Vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, symbolizing enlightenment itself. So we just say a little prayer to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So the second one is compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of someone that you may have harmed recently, maybe today, a sentient being, a person, to try to develop compassion for them. And then also someone who's harmed you, and this may be a little bit more difficult, but just by thinking, having compassion for them, because harm that they kind of did to you, the suffering they caused you, is finished for you, but for them it's only just beginning. And they're going to suffer in the future because of the harm that you've caused you. So we feel compassion for those people. So now we're doing the power of the remedy. So this is the actual medicine. This is the purification. And so the first is we purify the body. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending from his heart, and it sort of arcs around, enters the crown of your head, and this nectar enters your heart, blissful, radiant nectar. And it's coming quite forcefully, and it fills you completely, and it pushes out of the lower orifices, the lower parts of your body, all the negativities of the harm that you have done to any living being in this life and all past lives. And it just kind of gets pushed out like this kind of thick, black, yucky smoke, and it disappears into space. So not one item left. It doesn't pollute anything or anyone. And as we just to visualize this light, this nectar coming through, pushing out all the negativities of our body as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokayo Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokayo Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokayo Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokayo Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebowa Sutokaya Mebowa Supokayo Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Guruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Sap Anarakta Mebolwa Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Savatata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now be delighted that all the harm that you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified. And just imagine, just think, there's now not anything that you could do to others but be of benefit to them with your body. How amazing. We just put that thought into our mind. So the next, second one is the purification of the speech. So this time you visualize Guru Vajrasattva quite strongly, quite forcefully, sending nectar from his heart. It arcs around, enters through the crown of your head and fills your body again. But this time, as it's filling your body, all this kind of negativity of your speech is kind of floating up to the top of your head and kind of going and disappearing to space out through the upper orifices of the body. So it just kind of sort of fills your body and just overflows, and all the junk of your speech kind of is just flowing out of the top and it disappears into space as we recite the mantra. So you just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and the lying and the talking badly about others behind their backs, all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Duda Mebolwa Sutokaya Mebolwa Supokaya Mebolwa Anarakta Mebolwa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sutta Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now feel so delighted that your speech is completely purified, and just imagine that there's nothing that you could do other than being a benefit to people with your speech. So just imagine that, and anybody hears your voice, the sweet sounds of your voice kind of calms them down, gives them benefit. How amazing. And next is purification of the mind. So just imagine Guru Vajrasattva very compassionately sending, this time, blissful, radiant white light. And this kind of light arcs around and comes into you through the crown of your head, just kind of melts into you, dissolves into you quite, reasonably forcefully. And when it hits your heart chakra, just imagine that all the negativities of your mind completely disappear, in the same way that when you walk into a room and you switch on a light, the darkness is dispelled. This same too here, the darkness of your mind is dispelled. So all the depression, the anger, the bitterness, the wishing to harm others, your attachment, grasping, anxiety, all these kind of things that kind of cause us worry and depression and sadness, all completely purified as we recite the mantra with the light hitting our heart. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Savasiti mempeyata sava kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sava tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Savasiti mempeyata sava kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sava tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Savasiti mempeyata sava kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sava tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Savasiti mempeyata sava kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sava tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Savasiti mempeyata sava kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sava tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Savasiti mempeyata sava kama sita me Siddham shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sava tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita Duda meboa sutokaya meboa supokaya meboa Anarakta meboa Savasiti mempeyata sava kama sita me Sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sava tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabhava mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. So now be delighted. All the delusions, which are the source of our suffering and the source of why we harm others with our body and speech, are totally gone. And just think that there is no space in your heart now for anything other than wisdom and compassion and bliss, kindness, forgiveness. So next, we're going to be doing the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So this time, remember, imagine Guru Vajrasattva sending out light and filling you completely. So it can be either light or light and nectar just coming simultaneously, or you can do the previous 3 visualizations, one after the other. It's up to you. But it might just be easier, simpler, just to visualize or imagine light and nectar just pouring into us. And it's eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negativity from your mind. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mebe yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita duda mebowa sutokaya mebowa supokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yata sawa kama sutta me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe. Now feel that you're completely purified, not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to omniscience have been removed. And so the next of the four opponent powers, the last one, is the power of resolve. And this is such a crucial step. It's this determination not to harm with our body or our speech again. Well, at least for 5 minutes or 1 minute. And it's so crucial to have this determination, because without it, we're going to keep doing the same old things. We won't remind ourselves. So we try not to make it like a New Year's Eve resolution, something that we'll give up after a week. So we just do it in maybe terms of what we're capable of, or what we feel that we are willing to do for this moment. So maybe a minute, a second, 5 minutes, 8 hours. So we just choose something that you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow, maybe. So now Guru Vajrasattva is delighted with us. So wanting to merge with your mind, it melts into light, kind of dissolves into you through your crown. And we think, my Guru's body, speech and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech and mind, and my own body, speech and mind are one. LAMA YESHE calls this union oneness. So next, as Lama Rinpoche recommends, meditate on the emptiness of the 3 circles and emptiness. There is no I, creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So to whatever extent we understand emptiness, we just place our mind there for a moment. So we can think of all things as, all phenomena as empty and not existing from their own side. It's one way to think of it. Or maybe you think, because of the way our body is built, we're only physically able to see things in a certain way, to hear things in a certain way. But maybe, just maybe, they might exist differently than the way we experience them. Just kind of chips away at our sense of wanting to hold things as this kind of permanent rock-like, kind of fixed thing. So now we dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy that we have created by doing this purification to all living beings, and we think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So I think we need to run straight to the long life prayers. Late again. So the first is for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. For Lama Zopa Rinpoche, you uphold the subduer's moral way, who serves as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplished magnificent prayers, honoring the three jewels, saviour of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. And for Lama Ursul, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request. O Lama, please, please live long. And for Geshe-la, beloved teacher, leading your students towards wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path, you're the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Wow, we did it. I'm sorry, I'm a bit late again. Thank you so much, everyone. It's always so lovely to see you all.